Hi, I'm Richard Friedman, and welcome to my video cartoon for August 8th, 2025. Here we have Ghislaine Maxwell in her new prison at Bryan, where she was transferred to. That's part one of the cartoon, where she's playing ping pong with a fellow inmate there. This is a woman's prison, a minimum security prison that she was transferred to from Florida to now in this Texas prison facility. And here's the whole thing here. And she seems quite content there. There it is, playing ping pong as part one of the cartoon. And the second part of the cartoon here is President Donald Trump and J.D. Vance in the Oval Office watching her on a video. This could be a future video. They do have table tennis there at that facility that I assume would be available to her. So this is a possibility in the future of this happening. So you could look at it as a future possibility here of them in the Oval Office watching this. And this, I'm going to read you the introduction to the cartoon right now. So put it all together and let's have a go at it. Okay, now here is I'm going to leave this up for you here and read the cartoon for you. The introduction and everything here. Okay, here we have, again, there it is, and there is the sign showing the place there. And here's the facility and the trees and ping pong table, and there you have it. Okay, Richard Trump and J.D. Vance watching Ghislaine Maxwell enjoying ping pong at the country club at her new country club prison. Quote, country club, because relative to where she had been in Florida, the type of facility she had been in Florida, to now in in Bryan, Texas here, relatively speaking, it's a country club. Compared as the pictures were shown, and as I tried to draw it, just as I saw it there, I didn't see the ping pong table, but I did read up. They do have table tennis available to the inmates. It's all female inmates there at this facility. Okay, and here she is at the table there. She's about to serve the ball, and I'm going to read you the introduction again here. Given the plight of the victims who had to endure President Donald Trump not ruling out a pardon for Ghislaine Maxwell, President Trump said this, quote, "I have the right to pardon her." He said that. I have the right to pardon her. So he said that implies that he said he hadn't thought about it much, but that implies that it's a possibility. Okay. Who is she's serving a 20-year sentence in prison for her role in a scheme to sexually exploit and abuse multiple minor girls with Jeffrey Epstein over the course of a decade, over the course of 10 years. And following Maxwell's interview with Todd Blanche, now Deputy Attorney General under Pam Bondi, and the president's former defense attorney, she was transferred from and Todd Blanche, now Deputy Attorney General under Pam Bondi, and the president's former defense attorney. So Todd Blanche had defended President Trump in court against the criminal charges that were against him, and for his, I guess this, in a way, this was a reward for him getting put in the Justice Department. You could look at it like that. You could look at it that way, and you could argue that. Let's put it that way. And so, what the idea here is that can he step out of the role of being President Trump's defense attorney into the role of serving the people under Pam Bondi as Deputy Attorney General? Can he do that? So here is what happened here is in following Maxwell's interview with Todd Blanche, now Deputy Attorney General under Pam Bundy, and the president's former defense attorney, she was transferred from a Florida prison to a minimum security prison that is relatively, quote, a country club relative to where she had been in Bryan, Texas. The Bryan prison camp, without any explanation. They didn't give a formal explanation as to why, right after the interview, with Todd Blanche, she was transferred, right in the wake of it. And so, again, the optics give some thought. There's some thought that could be given to the optics of that, which I let you decide on that, without any explanation, which is not normally done for sexual offenders without the powers that be intervening. So usually for sexual offenders, this is not done. This type of country club deal or prison is not for sexual offenders. You could argue it's for somebody who might have been jaywalking and stopped by a cop on a rainy day and said, "No, you ain't gonna arrest me." Boom, or something like that. And then the person got a little angry. They were getting wet, and they hit the police officer. And now they go, "Well, we'll give the guy a break. He has no convictions. We'll send him over there to the country club prison." But this is sexual. That's the type of prisoner that you might find there under female inmates, with female inmates. But the thing here, Bear, is that again, this would have definitely required a word from somewhere upstairs to override that precedence of not doing that. Okay, so that has to be said. Okay, and reportedly in her Blanche interview with Todd Blanche, she said that Trump had never done anything in her presence that would have caused concern. So the president had never done anything really immoral or nothing like any kind of moral turpitude, no moral turpitude of any kind or anything like that, and and in all those in all the times that he was there, he was dancing, and doing and all that business. Well, he didn't do nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with dancing, right? Nothing wrong with that. If President Trump just danced around a little bit and smiling, nothing wrong with that. So that's basically what Maxwell's saying is all he really did, and there was nothing to have been concerned about from what she saw. So now we go to the cartoon here, and here they are. This is here. I'll zoom in. This is the Florida federal prison camp at Bryan, Texas. There it is here. And here, Ghislaine, there. She's about to serve the ball. She's about to serve under the trees. There she is. And there's the lady she's playing, the female inmate she's playing ping pong with. And there they are, ready to start the game. And there's one of you see, this is not a prison cell, it's more like a dormitory. They said it's more like dormitory living, and this is what it appears to be. I drew this from the picture some of the houses on the prison there, and it's like a dormitory, where almost like in a way like a college campus in a way, or a camp or a sleepaway camp. Okay. There it is, trees. Okay, now, here we go to, this is again a future that hasn't happened yet, but they have table tennis available for the inmates, for the female inmates at that Bryan prison. It's available for them to play. So I made sure that could be a possibility down the road in the future. And here they are. Here's President Donald Trump with Vice President J.D. Vance, and they're sitting behind the fireplace, and there's some of here is President Trump's golden ornaments above the fireplace there. There's Ben Franklin. There's a young George Washington. Okay, and here's Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson here, young George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and here they are watching, and they're watching this. This is a giant TV. They're watching this together. What I just showed you, the ping pong match about to begin there at Bryan, and a future possibility. And here it goes, and I'm going to read it to you now. Here it is. J.D. Vance, thumbs up, and President Donald Trump. And here's how it goes. And here goes J.D. Vance is walking in. Perhaps President Trump summoned him to the office to talk about this and to kind of and they just turned on the TV, and there it was on the news, on the cable channel, some cable channel, some fake news cable channel. All right, so here it goes, and here we have it. Okay, there it goes. J.D. Vance, what's up, Mr. President? And then here goes President Trump answering him, and he's saying, J.D., I don't think Ghislaine will be happy at Bryan with just playing ping pong all day. President Trump doesn't think she'll be happy playing ping pong all day, just doing that at that Bryan prison camp, limited security camp there. And then here goes Vance, J.D. Vance, Vice President J.D. Vance, and he responds to President Trump saying, why not build the Bryan prison a swimming pool for her to use, so she could, after she gets through playing ping pong or so, she could take a swim and if they build a pool. As far as I know, they don't have a swimming pool there, so maybe President Trump could find a way to build a swimming pool there through some intermediary or whatever, to build a swimming pool. That was Vance's suggestion to keep her occupied in a good frame of mind. And then President Trump responds here saying, here goes President Trump, and he's saying, J.D., I think opening a beauty parlor for her to run at Bryan would be fantastic. So President Trump is thinking more along the lines of opening up a beauty parlor for Ghislaine to run there at the Bryan prison camp. And that's the punchline. President Donald Trump gets the last word in this conversation. And there it was. That was it. Okay. And here is going back again, the last shot at Ghislaine here at Bryan in Texas with her ping pong friend there at the table tennis table, and they're ready to start. She's ready to serve the ball. Everything's hunky-dory there, you see, and there is her ping pong partner there, and there it is. All right, thank you for watching my video. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. Hang in there, folks. Take care. Bye.